Folks, hope everybody's Sunday is good. Mine so far is good, even though I'm stupid tired. I woke up nice and early, around 3:30 this morning. So, with coffee in the car, I'm going to talk about In Flames, but I also want to mention and preface this before we get too deep into it. Happy birthday yesterday, or happy anniversary, 40 years to AC/DC's Back in Black, an iconic record that still sells copies to this day. Not very many, mind you, due to the fact of people don't buy records really anymore. Some people do, but a good chunk of them don't. It's an iconic record. First with Brian Johnson, screamer extraordinaire, and a man who basically was stepping into some shoes to fill that was pretty important. I mean, Bon Scott is a legendary vocalist for the band, and Brian had a lot of work to do, and he did that very, very well. Now, while yes, as you know, a lot of people realize that some of these songs have been overplayed, Shoot the Thrill and You Shook Me All Night Long and Back in Black itself, and as well as, like a couple others, Hell's Bells, for instance. If you sit kind of in a room with headphones on and listen to the record, there are things you can miss. There are bits that I've missed that, I'm like, yeah, I really love those parts. And they just sound fantastic as a whole. But it's still some songs, some of them the aforementioned, are overplayed to death by radio. And that's not the band's fault. That's not the record's fault or the songs. It's the fact that the radio still plays those songs and they can't get past those ones. They can't go and play Let Me Put My Love Into You. They can't go and play Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution or Have a Drink on Me. Those should be played more and more and more. Second one. Today is the 30th anniversary of Cowboys from Hell from Pantera. Now, there are a lot of people out there that do not like Pantera. They don't like Phil. They don't like the fact that they still have a Confederate flag image. Frankly, that's been long gone. That's been gone for about 5 years. Enough of that shit aside. Cowboys from Hell, while not their first record, it's actually their 5th record, if I'm not mistaken. But I usually don't talk much about the power metal days, not because I don't like it, but because it's not the Pantera that I am accustomed to. I don't deny the fact of their existence, but I do appreciate, the records for what they were. But Pantera, for me, always has been, always will start with Cowboys from Hell in terms of where their popularity gained. It's a killer record. Phil is hitting some ungodly high notes. His screams are on. His lyrics are great. The propulsion of the actual music from the band is fantastic. One of the best, personally, one of the best bands, in my opinion. Still is a major influence to me. Phil is an influence on me vocally. Yeah. And just overall, the band just kicks ass. Now I'm going to turn my attention to In Flames. Okay. I would show you the CD. My case is actually inside, and the actual CD is in my CD holder that is in behind here. So In Flames put out a post that they were re-recording Clayman. I thought, oh, the whole record? Or some of the record? My presumption was it was the whole record. Now, re-recording some classic records can be good. Others can be bad. I don't hate the fact that they did it. I hate the production. It is thin sounding. It's almost as if there's no guitars. There's no bass. There's all kinds of guitars there, but it literally sounds like it's thin. There's no fullness. The atmosphere seems very, very forced and very, very rushed. Anders sings the songs the way he does now live. I mean, I'm not expecting him to go back and redo the vocals. Although I think on some of the songs he could have put a little more effort. Now, 4 tracks. And the tracks that they do are the biggest ones off the record. Bullet Ride. Clayman. Only for the Weak. Pinball Map. The production is absolute garbage. It's a mess. Howard Benson recorded these 4 songs, and it just sounds like an absolute pile of rubbish. Like, how dare you? I mean, I don't want people to mistake the fact that I hate the band now, because I don't. But if you're gonna re-record something, you need to have a stronger guy on the desk to put this all together. I mean, where's the band? Like, this is again the whole thing that I had ranted on about Metallica. It's like they didn't even want to be there. To me, this literally feels like they didn't want to be there. Do I still love the band? Yeah, I love the band. But if you're gonna re-record a monster like that, you should at least, like Adam D from Killswitch Engage could have did this justice. But my personal picks would have been a guy like Jens Bogren, who did Phantom Antichrist by Creator. I believe he also did Gods of Violence as well. Or Frederick Nordstrom. And we all know who Frederick is. That guy did At the Gate Slaughter of the Soul. Like, one of the greatest records to ever come out of Sweden. Like, holy shit. What are you guys doing on this in Flames? You know, like I expected with Only for the Weak to hear, I can tolerate your sadness. I get, I can tolerate your sadness. Like, hold on a second here. Anders, homie, brother, tone down the happy and make it kind of miserable, because the song's not exactly the happiest. When you're trying to sing, I can tolerate your sadness for a song called Only for the Weak, and you try to make it like, top 40 pop track. Dude, bring it down a little bit. Kind of at least have that same sort of feel from back then. Just, man, it's so atrocious. And like I said, it's the production. If Howard Benson wasn't producing it, it would have sounded better. But at the same time, he's the same dude that did Eye the Mask, Battles, and Siren Charms, and a couple other previous records. So where was that? If it was produced better and done, like I said, overall much better than what it turned out, I think I could have got behind it, and I'd have been like, okay, I can cherry pick, Anders' vocals. Like, that's not that big of an issue. But if you literally cannot get past, like, and I shouldn't really say that, but this is kind of the big thing that I had poked at about Metallica when they did the Black in 2020 thing, and they're like, oh, that's just a quarantine thing. Yes, but In Flames did this during quarantine. Why can't you guys put out something better than what you've done? It just sounds bad. And talk about re-records. Go listen to Bonded by Blood, the new version that they did with Rob Dukes. Exodus, that is. Like, Let There Be Blood sounds like an absolute freight train coming in. And as Gary said, he goes, it's what I wanted Bonded by Blood to sound like back then. Mind you, it's not going to be as big and full because it's two different eras. But he doesn't feel that they got the proper recording of it. But hey, things were different back then. So, to sum this up real quickly, basically, should have got a different producer. And I honestly think it would have sounded much better. But that's just me. I'm allowed to be critical of one of my favorite bands because they are one of my favorite bands. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, people are still going to listen to it and they're going to like it regardless, no matter what I think. I'm just giving my 2 cents worth. And as far as I'm concerned, I just think it sounds bad. They should have had a better producer and then could have been a lot different. Anyways, I'm out.